everybody. Welcome back into Pritches Get Stitches bonus episode. Actually, Holly, what in the world? What are we doing here? We're supposed to be off. It's vacation time.
Listen, but every once in a while you have that friend that comes into town and she's hysterical and she reminds you of all the funny stories and all the shit and all the trouble you get into. And then you're like, we should do a podcast when we're drunk. And it's like a great idea. And then we tell it to you and you're like, why don't you two just record? And I'm like, because we both have ADD. It would be a really hard episode.
Yes.
So you're here as our moderator.
Yes. So I was definitely not drunk that day. And I'm like, I thought about it and I was like, hey, it's a great idea. Like we should do that. And then I'm like, there's not enough room for us in our little, studio. Like maybe you two should just do it. And you're like, no, it's going to be gone off the rails. And it's already started. Like before we even got the podcast, like if you could have watched, like to our listeners, if you could have watched what it took for us to get here to where we are right now. And we don't even know if this is going to work. The audio is probably terrible. It is what it is. So it's a bonus episode and only our subscribers and those that pay $0 can watch. So,
Percent.
So who's your friend? Who we got here?
So this is my friend Karen. I call her Scaren.
Yes, that was my bartending name.
So she was Scary Karen, and they combined it into one. So she was Scaren. So we met at Buffalo Wild Wings. There's a debate between her and I whether it was 2004 or 2005.
2005.
I say 2004. She's insistent. I don't know who's right, but we've been friends since then. Just met randomly. There's been some times.
Like Karen, you were bartending at the same time Holly was bartending, or like you guys worked together, or you guys like
we both started at Buffalo Wild Wings. They were opening up Buffalo Wild Wings in Killeen, Texas.
You were a bartender, or you guys met each other? Like she was bartending.
We were both training. We were both training to be bartenders, and we got to work together one time bartending together, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. They put us together once, and we laughed the entire time, and we were never allowed together again.
Yeah, they were like, drinks are taking forever. We were like peeing our pants, laughing, like just couldn't work together well, so I think Karen always ended up behind the bar.
Yes.
And they always had me run. There was like 15 tables. So I'd run the 15 tables.
And I was behind
Karen was behind the bar, but actually bartending together just that once. But it was like the best night ever because Jeremiah Abercrombie came in. And what did he bring, Karen?
He brought the Catholics up in here.
It was
the best.
The craziest random night. We don't even know who Jeremiah Abercrombie is aside from, this is Jeremiah Abercrombie. We bringing the Catholics up in here.
We fought over who was going to have to go down the end of the bar to wait on them.
Didn't even know what was happening. It was the craziest. So
bad.
So anyway, that's how I know Karen. We met at Buffalo Wild Wings years ago. Bartended together once. Stayed in contact. Right. She knows the family. She's been over, with Sunday dinners.
Yes.
All sorts of stuff. So everybody knows her.
So Sunday dinners. Did you ever hear Clean Up the Conversation? Did that ever come up?
No.
Grandma must have already been dead.
Grandma was dead.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Grandma wasn't there, so she doesn't know the beauty of that.
So I told Val, I said, Val came over for the first time for Sunday dinner, my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. And I said, hey, just like you're coming over for Sunday dinner, just so you know, like I'm warning you now, like my brother's there, my brothers are there, and my sisters are all basically they're all like hypersexual. And so
we're all brothers.
Exactly. The conversation will digress and somebody will talk about their testicles. I promise you that will happen. And sure enough, Brett's like, yeah, when I had a vasectomy, my testicles were the size of grapefruits. And I just looked at Val and I said, there it is.
Welcome to the family.
You are in.
There you go.
Well, you've been here for a while. I mean, like I haven't seen Holly. Honestly, I haven't seen Holly in probably a month. Like we did our last podcast episode, and I don't know that I've seen you since. Maybe one time when you got mad at Chad because he made pasta, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm going home. Screw you guys. I don't want pasta. And I'm like, what's going on?
I remembered I was hangry, and I even apologized and said, I'm sorry, I haven't eaten today. And that was a hangry. Karen got to experience my hangry reaction several times over the last 2 weeks. But I also traveled. So after that dinner, I think I had to go out to Utah. Then I was in Tampa. Then I was down in Killeen.
And that's kind of one of the reasons why we decided to just impromptu season finale of our show. Because it's like, hey, we're all over the place. I started reffing. But anyways, I asked a question prior. Karen, you've been here for a while.
Yes, I have. Well, no, it feels like a month in a good way because we have done everything. It's been less than 2 weeks. It's actually,
It feels like it's been 2 months.
It does.
And you guys went to Pooh Beach, right? The beach.
Well,
No.
it
The
was
beach that looks
actually
like
really
poop?
nice.
It was gorgeous.
It
The
was-
water was clear. It was nice.
I
No
told
way.
you, it was cleaned up. I swear,
There's-
like just like Tampa. We
Yes.
go down there. Okay, but first of all, we're getting into. Are we doing a what are we eating? Should we do all this first?
Sure. I guess it just says
Before
you're
we go?
introducing Karen. Oh, there we go. Okay, I see it there. Okay. I got ahead of myself. I didn't really look at the listen, I didn't look at the script. I just opened it. And then
Right.
okay, so you've been here for a while.
Yes.
And you're an avid listener, watcher of the show. You watch on YouTube or you listen to Spotify?
I listen on the podcast, the
Okay.
app for Apple, because I listen when I'm driving and I talk to you guys. Like I'm sitting there, conversation, like Holly's like, remember? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I remember I was there. And I'm like, so I talk to you guys. I'm throwing up my hands, laughing. Anybody driving by, they're like, what's this crazy chick doing? So I'm like, oh, I remember. So yeah.
And so you did tell me that right before. And I'm like, that's our whole purpose. Like the whole purpose of me and Holly right now is that our 4 listeners and our 4 friends are like talking to us while they drive. That just makes my heart so full.
Oh, yes.
It does.
I love it.
And I'm doing it.
Okay, so what are we eating, Holly? As we just a little preview into season 2. Okay, just a little preview. I'm not going to talk about what it is. You got to wait. If you're listening right now, you're going to have to wait till October 30th to find out. You know, as we finish the last episodes of season 1, you were diagnosed with low testosterone, right?
Correct.
So let's circle back to that real quick. You said they were giving you pellets. What does that mean?
So, see, Karen and I already know. Karen, this is how this whole show is going to go because shit happens. She's going to do this the whole show. So this is going to be the whole show, bro. Right here. This is Karen and I when we're drinking.
If you're listening, just stop and go to YouTube and just watch.
Okay, so are we telling that part of the story? Okay, so here we go. So they give you pellets, right? So how they diagnose low testosterone is they do a blood test. So he comes in, he says, hey, based on all of your numbers, we put this in the system. This is the amount of pellets we're going to give you. So I'm like, all right. So you get scheduled in for the appointment. So I go into the appointment. This is the beginning of September. And they basically cut a line like this big, I guess, parallel to your butt crack. And that's where they insert the pellets.
Because you told me, you're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
They
I'm
just say
like,
they're
I
going to
don't
be
know how
pellets.
this
You eat the
works.
pellets.
I just assumed, right? So then I'm like, I wonder if you can feel them. So Karen's like, so this is like, it's now healed up. And I'm like, is there a scar? So Karen's like,
We wanted to see if you could feel the pellets.
so Karen's like, yeah, so I'm like, I feel like I can feel it. Karen's like, come here, let me see. So I just go over, like, moon her.
I'm like,
And she's like, feel it up. She's like, no, you can't feel it. I'm like, yes, you can right here. And I'm like rubbing like this. And she's like, no, that's your underwear line. You're feeling your underwear line. That's not it. So she's literally like right here because she's like trying to feel. She doesn't have her glasses on. And she was like, if our friendship wasn't close, my nose is at your butt right now, basically. And I am filling you up.
my gosh.
Because I was curious, like, can you feel the pellets through the skin? Because
you can't.
remember when I had the birth control in my arm and somebody was talking about like doing like when they check their breasts or whatever and they were saying like it can go down into your armpit, and then I felt the lump of the birth control on my arm and I was like, oh my god, I have cancer. And then after a while I was like, oh wait a minute, that's my birth control. So that was kind of what I wanted to see. Could you feel it? I was like, I don't even know where it is. It was like, I know it's parallel to my butt because they put a bandage on and you can't
Right,
like
I'm
take
like,
a bathroom.
looking.
And she's like, what?
I'm like looking. I'm like, yeah, I'm like right here. Like literally, crack. Here's me like right there. I'm like looking.
I was like,
I'm
feeling. It's clean though. I just showered. There shouldn't be it shouldn't smell like ass. But yeah, she's like, no, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
So if you ever wondered what, best friends
feel
do,
All right.
that's it. They're filling up each other's booty to see
And
if
we
they're
were sober.
We were sober at that point. That wasn't
Yes.
even drunk involved in that
Yes.
one.
No,
Oh my
Tuesday
gosh.
night. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, Tuesday.
I had no idea. I didn't know what pellet. You just that's kind of where we ended. Like I get these
Yeah.
pellets. I don't know. Maybe you should get the pellets.
I had
Well.
no idea what it was. And then they explained it. But I'll tell you,
Now
it
everybody knows.
It didn't work. I won't say it didn't work. I didn't feel the effects of the pellet or the testosterone probably the first 2 or 3 weeks, which they said, sometimes some people feel it pretty immediately. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 4 to 6 weeks. But I definitely felt a difference. My energy level is great. I'm
That's good.
sleeping great. Like I'm not waking up hot and cold like I was doing in the night.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So
Pellets are working, and they're in
Pellets
there.
are working. I mean, I'm a believer now.
Surgically inserted into your butt
yeah, they
cheeks.
just do a little cut right into your butt cheek, parallel to your crack.
You know, I had a friend on Facebook. She posts stories, I guess, on Instagram, and then they transfer to Facebook, and so you see them on the stories. And she had mentioned the other day, she's like, "Hey, I was feeling like my hormones were off, and so I went in and I checked with my doctor, and sure enough, like I needed to have my pellet replaced." And I'm like, "Oh yeah," like it reminded me, like, "Oh, Holly said something about pellets," so I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was, like what that
Now
meant.
you
So
know.
yeah. Every
now I'm sorry I asked.
You don't even need to like go into that. Now
and I
you
don't know. I don't know if they do this if they put them in the same place for dudes or not. Like I don't know if it's different. I just know for women that's where they insert it, and then you get it done every 3 months, 3 or 4 months. And he said with me because I work out, I'm athletic. He said we'll probably do yours every 3 months, and then we'll see from there. So
Well, I've got a story I'll share next time. I'll share it the next episode as we kind of go through our journey. I've got a story as well. But so that's where we are, health journey. We've both had, again, if you're listening now, you're going to have to tune in to our season 2.
finale.
Nope, that's the end.
Pilot opener.
Nope.
Season 2
first episode.
You'll have to premiere our season 2 premiere.
Jesus.
You'll have to tune into our season 2 premiere and listen into our, because we, as the season progressed, we kind of started going to a health journey. You went in, saw the doctor, got some blood work done, got some things that you were told after our last episode.
Right.
And I did too, actually, Holly. A couple weeks ago, I went in, got some blood work done, met with my doctor, and we're very similar. Imagine that.
We're the same person.
Yeah, imagine that. So we'll talk about what that is. But in the meantime, now 10 minutes later, we'll talk about what are we eating. And it's going to go along with our diagnosis here. And so.
Oh, I don't know what we eat, girl. Karen's vegetarian, so she won't be eating that.
Oh, it's all vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. It's vegan, vegetarian. Let me tell you right now.
Okay.
It's from a company called Back to Human. Back to Human. Okay.
Well, Karen, you may like this shit.
And
Grain free.
yeah, so when I told my buddy of my diagnosis, he runs a company that he owns this company that what he does, this is from what I can gather. What he does is he helps, I think we've talked about it before. He helps companies on Amazon like increase their sales. So he goes through and helps them do that. And so he's like, I know a ton of companies that have basically food you can eat. So this is there's no refined starches, paleo, it's plant-based, no gluten,
No gluten.
no
grains?
no soybean oil, no soy lectin, no canola oil, no tapioca, no dairy, no refined
Grains?
starches. It's grain-free.
I think you just described cardboard.
Grain-free
That
crackers.
does sound like cardboard. She
I
said,
will
I
tell
think
you.
just described cardboard.
I've had them, so I know what they taste like.
Oh, great.
And
This is
I'm
what
going
we
to
get
give you
look forward
guys.
to.
So we have regular sea salt, which is the one I just put up,
Whew.
and then I have pizza flavor.
Ooh, yeah.
Pizza
All right.
flavor. So here's the pizza flavor, and when you say it sounds like cardboard.
Well, you were describing no this, no that, no this. I was like, that was
Oh,
just
gosh.
cardboard.
When you say it sounds like
Uh-oh.
we got a dog coming in. When you say it sounds like no cardboard, that's I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay. It has a cardboard feel almost. Okay, which one is
Sorry, I
this?
had to let the dog out there. She'll probably make her way back in. Okay, so
Is this pizza?
this is pizza flavored. Now,
Are you sure? This looks like sea salt.
yeah, there's probably sea salt on it, but this is pizza
Oh.
flavored. So basically,
Smells like cardboard.
it smells like it says. Here's the cool thing. It says no greasy fingers, and that's for sure. So here's a little
So
cracker.
here's the
Oh yeah,
cardboard.
holy crap.
It does smell like
No,
cardboard.
are we gonna eat it?
1, 2, 3.
Tastes like a healthy wheat thin.
No, I've had healthy wheat thins, and this does not taste like a healthy wheat thin.
There isn't nothing left on your finger.
It's
though.
almost like a. It does taste like a combo, though. Remember those combos?
Oh yeah, kind of does taste like
It
a
does
combo.
taste like a
Okay.
combo, but I don't like the texture. But at least it has a decent pizza combo flavor.
Yeah, it does. It does taste like a pizza combo.
All right, so these ones are sea salt.
Did you order these on Amazon?
No, so my buddy he went through and he ordered a ton of stuff for me. He just like ordered it to my to my house. So I'm like, dude, Jed, thanks, buddy. You're awesome.
Man, did you say my sister
I said,
was diagnosed first and sent her a care package too?
and then I
If it
said,
wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gone in and gotten tested.
It's actually good.
So then I said to him, I said, hey, she just jumped right in.
I
You cheated.
ate all 4 of them.
You got to do 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go, Scott. Let's jump in real fast. Catch up.
All right.
That's what happens when we do shots. Gotta jump in, catch up. True. Oh, they're good.
It's not too bad.
Not terrible. Not the worst thing I've ever had.
I like the sea salt better than the pizza. Just saying.
Interesting.
So I told my buddy after he bought all these things, I said, hey, man, my banker diagnosed me with a low bank account. But he didn't send me any money. So
Well, the Powerball's up, so I'm winning that, just so you know, tomorrow.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I
Winning
did buy.
Powerball.
It's over $1 billion. I did buy 5 quick bits today.
Yeah, we did that last time. Remember you bought 30 and you got nothing.
I got one number out of all 30.
So I have 2 pizza ones. Anyways, what do you think?
I like them.
I mean, listen, it could be worse. It's not the worst thing we've tried.
You could put some of that jelly stuff you put on them.
I can't.
Oh, Marmite, get out of
Marmite.
here. Oh my gosh.
Jelly stuff.
I don't even,
I
you
didn't
know,
have jelly. I didn't really. I forgot
I was
Marmite.
trying to remember from the pot.
She's not-
Yes, Marmite.
she's not invited anymore. Marmite.
Marmite was so
Look,
awful.
I didn't taste it, so that's. I was just
Well, we
I
have
still
some.
had it.
We put it in the
I threw that away.
Oh.
The
Should've
kids were
kept
like,
it.
throw that out. We should have done it and made everybody unsuspecting victims try it.
You know, they did that. I think they stole it from us, Dude Perfect. The kids, you know, were watching Dude Perfect one day and they were with like the British soccer team or something. And they're trying foods from each other's country. And the first one was Marmite. And the dude's like, I love it. You know, that's my British accent. He's like, he loves it. And of course, Dude Perfect is like, this is the worst thing I've ever had, which
Yeah.
I honestly think that's the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. Still
It
is.
was pretty awful. I can't think of anything worse than that. Even all the other stuff that we tried. Nope, I can't think of anything worse than that. That was awful. So,
Yeah. Bad.
But yeah, we.
So what do you think? Hugh crackers.
I mean, I would probably
I
order
buy 'em.
those as a good little snack. They're not a great snack. How many calories?
Oh,
How many flavors?
I just had boxes show up to my house. I'm telling you
I
straight
don't
up.
know.
So there's 26 This is good. 26 crackers in a serving size.
Oh, okay, that's
That's
not
a
bad
decent
because
amount.
usually it's
Yeah.
like 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
decent.
there's only 4 servings if you eat 26,
Okay.
but 26 have 110 calories.
Wow. Usually it's like you get 12 and there's 250 calories. So
Yeah.
that's decent. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it has 3 grams of protein. It has 11 carbs only.
Ooh, protein. Protein.
Has
Okay.
1 gram of sugar, but it's not added sugar. So
That's perfect then. See,
Okay.
I don't order those.
what's the bad fat? Saturated or unsaturated? I think it's unsaturated. This has 3 grams of saturated fat. I don't know if that meant.
I don't know. Trans fat?
So here's the ingredients.
Atlantic? I don't know.
This is the this is the grain free. This is the sea salt. Here's the ingredients: grain free flour blend, which is almond, cassava, potato.
Oh my
Can't have it.
gosh.
Boom. Can't have it. Out.
What?
Can't have that blend.
Why?
Can't have almonds.
You
You can't have
can.
cassava. You can't have red potato.
Depends on what you think. Depends on how good you are.
Red potato.
Coconut oil, coconut aminos, apple cider vinegar, sea salt, shallot, organic thyme, organic rosemary extract.
Yeah. I mean,
It depends on what you read. Depends on what you read. Anyways, we'll talk about what we're diagnosed with later. I'll
Later.
figure out in 3 months how I'm doing. But
Well, so will Holly when she starts.
dude,
Listen, I was going to start. True statement. I had it all planned for the 18th of September.
you had all good
Karen said-
intentions, right?
Yes. And then Karen said, so when I'm there,
Oh yeah, that wasn't going to work. That
we're
was
not going to
gonna-
drink because, I can't have any alcohol. And I was like,
No.
oh, yeah, I forgot. Like, that's totally out. Like, we've
No.
made up for the last 2 years of not drinking together
Just on Tuesday
on
night.
Tuesday night alone.
Tuesday night alone.
Tuesday
night was
might
like
have been.
it was like a Friday
what
night.
happened.
It was like a Friday night in our 20s.
Yeah.
Yet we were home by 9:30.
That was the only difference. So we've learned how to be more efficient in our drinking and
Yes.
consumption
Oh yeah.
and get it all done by 9:30 so
Yeah.
we can be in bed by 10. Because
It's like it was insane.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But so fun fact of the day.
All right, let's do it.
It's a very
depressing one.
short. The
It
shortest
is
fun
short.
fact of the day.
Yes, that's one line.
And I'm going to let Karen present today's fun fact of the day.
Oh, it's so sad. Tony Basil, whose son Mickey. remember
Hey,
that?
Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
She turned 80 years old on September
80.
22nd. 80 years
That
old.
song is
Yeah.
43 years old.
It's a I'm
came out
younger
in
than
80,
that
right?
song.
Same time. That song is born the year I was born.
It was born the
That
year you were
song.
It
born.
was it was born the year I was born. That was just such a sad fun fact. It's not even a fun fact. That's almost like a
It's a what a cry fact.
fuck we're old fact. But there it is. 80 years old. I didn't even realize she's older than mom and dad.
Yeah, she is. By
So
2
there you
years.
go.
Somebody
Sometimes
just died.
it happens.
Who just died that was old? Some singer.
Dick
Oh,
Butkus.
Dick Butkus. Jimmy Buffett
Dick
died.
Butkus.
Most people die when they're old.
That, you know,
Die when they're young.
since we last met, we've had quite a few people die. Dick Butkus
Yeah.
and Jimmy
Jimmy
Buffett.
Buffett.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Buffett.
Some other people.
Like, hold up, because Heidi and
Diane Feinstein.
Heidi and Heather and Kimber and I have a group text, and it's now it's digressed to basically we send obits like, oh, this person died. So
Oh,
most
you
of
are
it,
officially old.
most of it is
You are
just
officially old.
celebrity deaths. So let's see if I can find
Officially
anybody.
old. That's like
Of course, there's a whole section.
when you
here
start
about
sending
moms.
obits, you are seriously.
Oh, the
like-
lead singer of Smash Mouth died.
Oh, yeah, he did. That was a sad
Jimmy
day.
Buffett died.
He's walking on the sun right now.
Bob Barker died.
Oh, yeah, Bob Barker. But that dude was like, I mean, he got as close to $1 as he could get. It was
Yeah.
99.
99 in like a day. Yeah. Who else? I think that was it since we got together because before that was the Eagles. Yeah, because that was back in July. Sinead O'Connor. So we talked about those. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that.
We did
Well, Tony Basil, she's still alive and 80 years old.
Sorry, I read the next.
for now. She is
Basil or Basil?
Basil.
Basil Expedition.
Because she's
What's
I
that
don't know if
from?
she's British, but Basil is from the what was that cartoon?
See, I always said
Disney
Tony
cartoon.
Basil.
No, Basil Expedition from Austin Powers.
I'm a northerner.
Oh
so
no,
we
I
said
was
Basil.
thinking Basil from he was the Great Mouse Detective. Is that what it's called?
Oh,
Great
Basil. Yes.
Basil, right? Isn't
Yeah, I
is it
think
the Great
so.
Mouse Detective? Disney cartoon?
Probably. I never really watched that one.
I didn't either.
Speaking of
I just
Disney
know
that we
it's
never
Basil.
watched, wasn't Fantasia the worst Disney movie you've ever seen?
I love Fantasia.
Oh my, you would.
Come on, Fantasia, all the music, and then the hippos with the alligators, the hippos in the freaking tutus.
You know who'd like Fantasia? Lexi.
Lexi. Has she ever watched it?
I don't know. I won't watch it.
I love
I remember that. Now that I think about it, I remember that I used to bring and put in the
I
VHS.
used to love Fantasia.
And we used to
I
watch
it all the
Fantasia.
time.
Wow.
It's music.
From Tony Basil.
Listen, Carrie just went to a Disney wedding.
Oh, I
Carrie loves
did.
some Disney.
I did go to a Disney
That
wedding.
wedding was at 6 a.m., Scott. Could you
Yes.
imagine, A, getting married at 6 a.m., but B, getting an invite to a wedding that starts at 6 a.m.?
You have to do it before the park opens. They
Yeah.
like shuttle you into a back
Yeah.
entrance. And
I'm like,
stuff.
nah, sorry, I ain't coming.
It was amazing.
So like, wait, Holly, is this the one you told me about? You're like, this is a grown woman getting married at freaking Disneyland.
I did.
I went
did
to the
talk
wedding.
about
It was an
She
amazing wedding.
there.
It was amazing.
She said it was amazing. The food was great. Everything. And I'm
Everything.
like, yeah, for the
And
amount of money, it's
it
probably
was-
going to be like a $50,000.
Here's my
wedding.
thing. I was like, we aren't doing drinks, and then it's like 9:30, and here's me with a picture of a drink in my hand. Like,
She sends me a picture. She's like, hey, brunch. I'm like, girl, I'm literally laying in bed still. I haven't even taken my morning medication yet. And
Yeah.
she's all like, drunk.
had some like
hey!"
Disney ears. I had like little
Yeah.
Disney ears. Little
Oh, 9:30 in the morning.
Yes.
In the morning.
Because it was 6
Oh.
a.m.
In the morning.
The reception was from like 7 to like noon. Then you got to go back. And then at night, you went back for a private escort to Epcot for your private viewing of the fireworks.
So they had
And
like,
more drinks and more food.
they had like mimosas and,
No, I was drinking rum and
no,
coke.
no, no. You had rum and Coke, but they had like breakfast stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then Karen's like, girl, check this list out. Beer and wine and liquor. And she's like, this is so expensive. I'm like, girl, you at Disney. What'd you expect?
Yeah.
Like she was like $9 for a Bud Light. I was
Yeah.
like, I know, Brandon, you could buy a whole case for $7. But the point is,
You're at
we did go
Disney.
to a Disney wedding.
You're drinking at Disney.
Oh,
At
yeah.
That wedding was at
Yeah.
6 a.m.
And then I just kept drinking throughout the day. Then we went back at night, and there's some crazy pictures because I was real drunk.
6 a.m.
Oh, that's pretty early. I don't know if I could get married at 6 a.m. I showed up early to my wedding too. My wife told me to be there at 9:30. I show up and she doesn't show up till like 11. I'm like, awesome. She's like, oh, I told you to be there. I'm like, whatever.
She showed up at 9:30 to make sure that you showed up on time because she knows that Pritchard's will not run on a different time.
I'm always
We
Yeah,
run on
our
our own
time.
time. Yeah, exactly.
I'm all day, like
Right.
all week. I'm like, yo, girl, we got to be here by here. She's like, all right. I'm like, we got to be here by this time. We got to leave at this time. And then I'll give her a 15-minute warning. I'm like, yo, girl, we're about to leave. She's like, yep, I'll be ready. I'm like, all right, you ready? Yeah, let me get my shoes. Let me brush my teeth. Let me do this. I'm like, that's ADD though. We have this unique relationship with time. That is a fact. People
It
with
is.
ADD have a hard relationship
Well,
with time.
and
Because in your
mine's-
mind, you're ready to go.
But see, mine's the ADHD, which is
Well,
the,
mine's
the
the same.
H, but my H, she said, my age, I don't know how to do an H. She was, My H is super, super, like my H is out of control. She said that was like so off the chart. She's never seen it. So.
Yeah, our conversations have been real interesting. I don't think we finished a conversation yet in the 2 weeks that we've hung out. It's like we start talking about something and then she'll be like, oh yeah, from 4 days ago when we were talking about this is what I was going to tell you. And then I never hear the end of it because then it goes into another thing.
Well, that's like me getting here and suddenly we're going to the beach Sunday morning. I get here Saturday night. I drive in.
Yeah.
Like 15 hours. Suddenly we're driving again.
And I'm like, hey, how do you feel about the beach? She's like, okay.
So Karen, where do you live?
I live in South Carolina right now.
Oh,
Columbia. Irmo, it's a little town. It's Irmo, South Carolina. My husband retired out there and we are both Northerners. And everybody's like, oh, so you're going to move back up to Pennsylvania? And we were like, no, it snows there. Yeah. We don't do snow.
Yeah, it's too cold up there.
No.
Yeah. So Holly, a couple weeks ago, we were out serving papers. I was showing you how to serve paper. What were we doing?
Yeah.
We went to lunch.
Yeah, that was when I was going with you to learn to serve some papers.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll jump your car because you have this old school car, Goldie Honda. And I was supposed to jump the car. And then on my way, my calendar pops up and it says like, you have an appointment in 10 minutes with your therapist. And I'm like, oh shoot, Holly, I have an appointment. She's like, don't worry about it. We'll jump it later. And that's probably one of the last times I saw you.
I think that might have been.
And now on the list here, it says jumping Goldie Honda. At one point, I told you, I said, just go out in your booty shorts, put the hood up and lean over and some dude will come help you.
No.
We didn't have to worry about that though. Because
I have a jumper. It's this little jumper pack. I have now saved and rescued many people.
So you don't have to hook yours to like the cables to one car to another. It's like a little, you charge it.
Yep. Jumper pack.
I know.
So
You have it with you in your car?
Yeah. She has her car.
Yeah. And she's the third person I was jumping. Like I had 2 other people like within the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we go to jump it and
I'm now deaf.
She turns it on. As she plugs it in and I start the car, the alarm goes off. Okay, now remind you, I don't know how to turn off this alarm. I've never used it. The hood's up and she's leaning over and it's like, scares her.
Is it like an aftermarket alarm that's like
aftermarket alarm?
No, it's like
But the problem with it is the key fob doesn't work. And the guy's like, in order to make it work, you have to do a combination on the buttons. He's like, but I don't remember what buttons to push, so I never set it. Well, I don't set the alarm. I'm guessing because the battery died and it's...
Yes, the battery died. So when you jump it back up, it's gonna... Oh, I'm so glad I wasn't there.
I don't know how to do it. I do
turn
know.
off.
So here's the thing. I do know when we're in Utah, Ty had to jump it one time because I hadn't used it or whatever the deal was. He had to jump it. Same thing there. So he was down there like unplugging, just taking stuff out of the engine and unplugging it until it stopped. So I'm like, pull some stuff. And Karen's like, I don't know what I'm going to pull. So I'm like, shit, I don't know what to pull. I don't want this car to blow up. I don't know what to unhook. I don't even know if Ty knew what he was doing. He just started doing it. He knew more than I did though. So I turned it off. So we know it starts. We just can't get the alarm to turn off.
But we did this like 3 times.
Yeah, because she was like, maybe if you put it into drive, then it will turn off. Surely it'll turn off. No, it just keeps going.
I mean, it was loud. This was like probably half an hour that we're going and we're trying different things. And it's like so loud. I'm surprised Nate, she probably got a noise complaint. You probably got a noise complaint.
Probably, because I did get another noise complaint from my music one day. But anyway, so now it's sitting there. So then I'm like, what am I supposed to do at this point? I don't even know how to do this. So then I thought, I had to take Charlie in today to get oil changed and everything. And so I was there. I was talking to the lady at Firestone and she says, oh, there's this place that's called Car Toys. You should stop. I was like, oh yeah, because they do aftermarket alarms.
Right.
So I'm going to go over there and tell them the situation and say like, if I have my car towed over here, can you take this alarm out? Like,
I think we can start it. Even with it beeping, you could just drive it over to that. I'll do it. Backlist.
I feel like
I'll drive it. Over. I will drive us with it going. I'll drive it. I'll just be like waving to people. I'll be like, hey.
But yeah, it was so loud and it scared. Well, and then we couldn't keep it connected long enough to juice it because she was like, it was making her deaf. She was like trying.
Well, no, you can unconnect it. You just have to keep it running.
Oh yeah, I had to keep it running. That's what it was.
So look, I'm telling you, I can drive it over.
We didn't want to keep it connected because it was so loud, and I was like, people are going to.
Oh my gosh, going down through the garage, down through the garage. I'm telling you, I just sit there and wave. I will wave to people. They're like, I'll wave. I'll smile, wave like I'm doing a parade.
So did you stop at Car Toys?
So we haven't yet because we were going to do it today, but then I forgot that
We gotta come here.
we were coming here, and then you were like, stop at Best Buy just in case. So then I was like, we got to hurry. So I am going to stop over there probably tomorrow and just kind of talk to them and say,
You may
hey,
stop by Best Buy. Best Buy still does that stuff.
oh yeah, I forgot they do that. They install
I'm
that. Do they do the car alarms though? Or do
I'm
they
pretty
just
sure.
do
I
the
mean,
radios.
I think you'd be better off going to the car place.
Well, I mean, if you go
return the stuff to Best Buy,
if you go to Best Buy to return the stuff, you can just ask them.
well, needless to say, I am selling her. So if anybody is interested, I will be selling her. She's
It is
a
a-
car,
1990. No, what is it? A 2000?
2000
2000 Honda Accord Gold.
Honda Accord.
It's worth $8,500 right now.
What? Oh, Jesus, is it? I was like, that's 2000.
Wait a minute, what?
I paid like 4,500 for it or 4,000. It was during COVID when you couldn't get used cars and the people were just selling and making bank. But it runs well. It's a good. I think it has 130,000.
It's got a good alarm system.
Got alarm system.
Just
on
needs
it.
a battery.
That.
Just needs a
I'm gonna
battery.
drive that. I'm gonna drive it.
It's got to be connected to the battery. The alarm's got to be connected to the battery somewhere.
I don't know. But I did find the key fob for it today. I didn't
Like,
know how to key fob.
So there
still.
should only be like two things connected to the battery, and if
Yeah,
there's anything
all
else
the time.
connected,
I didn't
then
see anything else,
Yeah.
but there was so much corrosion on
Yeah.
the battery terminals.
Ah,
like
gotcha.
we got to clean them off.
I got the snow blower. You know the snow shovel thing.
Snow
Not
blower?
the snow.
Oh, boy.
The snow brush.
Snow brush.
Snow brush. She's like scraping, and I'm like, no, you need the metal brush to clean the
I was
corrosion
like, no,
off.
this
And
stuff
she's
is
like,
so old. It just is like
yeah,
literally.
we got to
I
clean them
just
off
used
to
the
like
brush
connect
and-
it and everything. So
Yeah, it looked real. It's janky. But it
Yeah.
runs
I
well.
didn't see any
It's a
other
Honda.
things. I'm telling you.
so no guys came over.
No guys
help
came
you.
over. But you have to remember, we're in the parking garage and there's everybody there's married
That's
Or
true.
at work.
or complaining about my loud music. And, here's the thing. I get this email one day. I'm sitting outside after baseball season. However, music is going on at the stadium. I'm like texting Karen, like, these motherfuckers are doing a charity game
I remember
today.
that.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I sit out there. I have my little speaker there. I turn it on, and then I get an email from management saying that somebody has submitted a noise complaint for loud music or bass coming from my apartment. So I sure responded, and I was like, first of all, because they were like, don't forget, like
Quiet hours.
quiet hours are 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I was like, first of all, I'm in bed by 10 p.m., so that sure isn't me. Second of all, I'm not awake before 7 a.m., so that sure isn't me. And I was like, and I think they may be confusing my speaker with the stadium because that music is going. And what I should have said was, and tell them whoever's complaining, because it either has to be somebody on either side of me or above me, right? Maybe below, I guess. Could be below, but I would
Direction?
assume it's one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, tell the people on the left side of me that I don't complain when their baby is crying for 4 hours.
It sounded like a cat. I thought somebody was killing
So
a cat.
loud. I don't complain when their baby cries. I don't complain when the neighbor on the other side is pounding and hammering away, which
Oh my
it
God.
feels like they do all the time.
Yes.
And I don't complain when my neighbor upstairs
Yes.
bowls in high heels.
Yes.
So we live in an apartment complex. You have to give up some.
And there's a stadium with
What's the
boys.
Guaranteed it's the person with the baby. That's
Oh
why
my
the baby
gosh.
cries all night.
I'm telling you, it sounded
Listen,
like a cat. It
My
was
music
like,
wasn't even loud. It was so. And Karen's like, "Is that a cat?" I was like, "No, that's the baby next door."
You
She's
should.
like,
You should.
Oh my god!
I mean, if the baby's crying that long, you should call the
I
police and do a welfare
should,
check.
yes.
I think from now on, what I'm going to start doing is anytime I hear any noise, I'm going to submit a noise complaint.
Yes.
Because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I sit in my apartment. I do nothing. I don't bother anybody. I'm not loud. And now I'm getting a noise complaint. Oh, somehow, but I did kill him.
Just think about it when if you call the police and you're like, hey, I think there's a baby home alone. You should come check on it. It's been crying for 4 hours. That'd be
Real.
great.
Yeah.
And then just
that baby, they're of the school of let your baby cry itself to
Cry
sleep.
it out. It's
Which
the
is
cry
fine.
it out method.
I don't care about that if that's what they want to do, but seriously, put that baby in another room that doesn't connect to my wall because I can hear it and it's loud.
you should noise complain them for sure. I would.
For sure.
All right. So Karen, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened to Holly in your presence? I put you on the spot. I know.
I told you to be thinking about these things. I said
There's so many things that I can't really say on camera. Like,
Oh,
they're seriously inappropriate. I mean, feeling her butt was way more appropriate than the stories that we have. Like, I don't know. I don't even know.
I'm trying to think. Listen, a lot of our stories, though, there was a lot of drunken.
Yeah,
things.
our stories are this one time we were drinking, and that's every story.
Every story. This one time, remember that one time we were drinking? She's like,
Oh my gosh.
uh-oh. She just thought of it.
No. The scooters.
Oh, the scooters. That was a good one.
The scooters. I felt bad though because
I had just had my aneurysm. So I'm going to put that out there. And we go to Salt Lake, and Karen, or I'm in Salt Lake. This one in Utah. Karen comes out to visit.
Okay, now you got to understand. She tells me there's this really good food place, so we don't eat all day. So we get there. No.
2021.
We get there.
It's just ended. Let's see. Pandemic. Everything started opening, I think, in like March and April. Karen came in July.
Yes. And she says, so we get a beer, and then she's like, can we see a food menu? And they're like, so we order our beer, we're drinking a beer. They're like,
now mind you, we get the giant beer, and I get the super strong beer.
So they say, we don't have food here. We only do these sandwiches, these pre-made sandwiches.
And I'm like, no, you have food. You guys have like the best food in town. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, since pandemic, we don't do that anymore.
No.
He's like, so our food selection is some peanuts. He's like, provided by your bartenders
Yes.
from the local Walmart. We have some, he like pulls out like peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like stuff they picked up at the deli,
Yes,
like
they're just
a
wrapped
beer nut
sandwiches.
collection. You know, it's like
Oh, geez.
crap food.
So we drink there. So we're like, okay.
So we're like, you know what? Forget it. We'll eat at the stadium because we were going to. Oh, okay. We forgot the whole part.
Yeah, well, wait, we're gonna get because we're gonna go to the stadium, but we got to get to the stadium.
So how we got there in the first place, though? That's what we forgot.
oh yeah,
Susie
Susie dropped us off.
dropped us off because
Susie,
we're
our
like,
cousin?
Susie, our cousin.
Okay.
She's like, hey, we'll drop you there. So that way, and I was like, yeah, then we can just walk to the stadium. Well, then it's like a 2-mile walk. So then I'm like, Karen's like, hey, we could just take the scooters. I was like, yeah, good idea.
No. You suggested the scooters. I would never suggest
All right,
scooters.
fair point.
I'm like, I don't even know how to work these. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I'm like, can't we just do something? So, but as we're walking,
These are like
we're
the
stopping,
scooters.
like trying to pee somewhere and do something. There might have been more drinks.
And I think we had like 2 or 3 beers at the bar.
Okay,
So
then I
2 or
thought
3
there was-
big beers. We had
and we
all day.
hadn't eaten.
It's like 4:00.
So we're trying to get these scooters. You got to form passwords and do these things.
So Karen has a scooter first because I can't find one that's charged. So
Everyone's-
I'm just walking along as she's scootering drunk down the street.
and they go pretty fast.
They go
They're
up to 23 miles an hour. which is
they're
scary
heavy, so you
when you're
can't just
drunk.
move them. So you got to kind of like go and not hit tree branches and
So
stuff.
I finally find a scooter that works and we start cruising. And Karen decides to stop dead stop right in front of me.
I did not. She
So
told
I
me.
can't maneuver
This is her version.
because I was drunk. So I end up crashing, flying over the handlebars, lose my phone, which I didn't know I lost my phone, rolling on the road. The scooter has fallen now. And Karen's like, hurry up.
What happened? What? We're on
Please,
sidewalks.
me.
First off, you're not supposed to ride these on the sidewalks. You're supposed to ride these on the street. We're on the sidewalk. It's the edge where they're like uneven. There's a tree branch.
It's
and I was
like,
like,
it's
oh,
like a Rancier sidewalk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
UPS
crazy.
sidewalk.
Oh, that's a good story.
So I'm like doing it. So I was like, oh, well, there's a branch.
So she
and there's
slows
an edge. So I
way
slow
down,
down and
right?
I go.
Dead stop.
And I keep going. And then I hear she says something. I'm like, what? So I try and look back and she's on the ground. But I can't just turn around in the middle of the sidewalk. I gotta wait to get to the corner because you gotta do a big circle around. Because you can't just pick them up and try and turn them because they're too heavy. So I do it. I turn and around and I come back and everything. She's like, you asshole, you left me.
So then we start going again. And then she's like, where are we going? And I'm like, I don't know, let me pull out my map. And I'm like, I don't have my phone. And we had to backtrack. Hey,
Yes.
now we're drunk.
Oh, yes.
Like, it doesn't do justice. Like, telling this story doesn't just. So we finally get
To the
get
stadium.
back to the stadium. Karen doesn't know how to stop at this point. So she crashes. She falls over and crashes her
Just leaves it
scooter
there.
and just leaves it. I leave it. So we're like, okay, Karen,
Oh,
we have to get food.
yes.
So we go into the stadium, and as soon as we walk in, I'm like, oh shit, my beer line is real long.
Yeah.
And Karen's like, oh, mine's short. I'm going to go grab a beer.
Yes.
I said, we'll get 2. So she's like, all right. So she gets in her line, and I'm waiting in this long line, and I'm like, I ain't waiting this long. So I walk up to the next couple in line. I was like, hey, it's so good to see you guys. And they're like, hi. And I'm like, hey, pretend you know me, and I'll buy your beer. And they're like, okay, yeah, it's great to see you. So, because my line is like wrapped around.
Yes.
Right now, Karen's waiting. So I get my 2 beers. They order their beers. We buy. We go sit down, and we're sitting there, and then Karen's like, I thought we were supposed to be getting food. And we're trash. I mean, this has been an all-day drink-a-thon. I'm like, yeah, we'll get some like popcorn.
Yeah, hot popcorn.
Yeah,
please.
Karen's
We'll
like,
wait for
where's the
that
vendor guy? And the guy leans forward and he's like, they don't do that anymore since COVID. So I was like, shit. Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it. We didn't. We never
Yeah.
got food there. We drank all day. Then we walk out. I'm like, okay, let's go. There's Lucky 13, which is the best
Ooh,
burger
yes. And they had veggie burgers. They had black bean burgers.
joint. So we walk out and I'm like, let's go over there. And of course, we ordered more beer and more food. Then I'm like, okay, we're going to Uber home. And we could not get an Uber
Like an hour.
for like an hour. There's like, I keep trying. There's no Ubers in the area. No Ubers in the area. So finally it's like midnight and I'm like, hi, Ty. He's like, dear God, where are you?
Best ride ever home. We were playing like Barbie Girl, like all this cool music, and it was like, woo! The whole way home.
So Ty got out of bed. It was like midnight. Ty got out of bed, came and picked us up.
Oh man,
Took us home.
What a good nephew.
Good nephew. But yeah, that was a good day. That whole 2 weeks though. That whole 2 weeks was just a drunken 3 weeks. You came out there for 3 weeks. And I think we drank every day. We saw domestic violence disputes. We saw people going down the wrong way.
We saw accidents. Oh yeah, accidents. We just
sat on the balcony literally for 3 weeks and just drank
every day.
And so
sounds like the past couple weeks.
Yeah, as I say, I don't think it's much different.
We've been trying to relive that magical year.
So you went, you said you got into town and immediately you drive to Galveston to just go drink.
Airbnb. No, she says, what about going to the beach? Actually, she started with, hey, what about this? What about this? And I'm like,
I was like, let's do this epic road trip.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I'm glad we did because I hate driving. First of all, what was I thinking?
She's like, we'll go down to Galveston on Monday. And so we're sitting there and we're trying to do this Saturday night. And I'm like, well, we're trying to do it because she has a meeting and this and that and everything. And I'm like, let's just go down Sunday. So we literally, I just drove 15 hours. We literally booked an Airbnb and got the next day.
But it was great because it was like $400 off season, a block from the beach. So then I'm like, okay, Karen, I have to warn you. The last time I went to Galveston, I was a teenager. It was dirty. The beaches were gross. The water's gross. I don't know how this is going to work out.
We went 3 years ago, and that's how it was.
Oh, it's nice.
We went this time. They've had this whole citywide effort to clean up the beaches.
The beaches are
zero
crystal.
Seaweed, nothing on them.
Perfect. The water you can see your feet.
I mean, it's not like clear, like Caribbean.
Did you see Christmas trees on the beach? Lined up at all? Because I have a friend who does, he gets Christmas trees, and I don't know if they're trying to they use them to build a wall or something like that. But I always just see him usually in the beginning of the year, he's collecting Christmas trees, and they line the beach with these Christmas trees, and I think the sand ends up going over them. I have no idea.
No, we didn't.
I'll have to look into it.
There's a hotel down there. It's called the Grand Galvez Hotel. We were a block from that, maybe.
Not even. We were
but we were 1 block, so it was, you walk out of the house and it was this way, and the beach is behind us, and so it was a block to the beach. We did that every day, basically, just chilled on the beach. Nobody hardly. Maybe a couple other couples there,
Except for the 1-2 hours.
No, the one. We set up on this beach, right? This shit pissed me off. I was so mad. We set up on the beach. I have a beach umbrella, 2 chairs. It's not like it's just we had a towel. We have a whole setup going on.
Cooler,
everything.
Speaker.
These motherfuckers, these 2 couples, you knew they did not know beach etiquette because they were so pasty.
Yes.
They go and set up directly in front of us.
7 feet.
And the beach is empty.
The whole beach is empty.
Yeah.
Right in front of us. And I'm just
and we're in the water. So we see them and they're and I'm we're trying to watch our stuff. And they're right here in front of our stuff.
And I didn't have my contacts in. And so I'm like, Karen, are those people at our stuff? Because I can see I know where our beach stuff is. And I see there's people there. And she's like, oh my God, they're setting up their beach right in front of us. Right in front. We had to walk around them to get back. And I'm the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, people obviously don't know proper beach etiquette if they're going to set up right in front of us.
Yeah, they had no clue. But they left. But they were there for a couple
hours. Yeah. But I was mad. And I did let them know I was mad.
And we saw the coyotes.
Oh, we did see there was coyotes walking along the beach. That was interesting.
Yes. It sounded like somebody making fun or something it was
yeah, we thought it was a dog and a man at night. We're sitting out there one night and then all of a sudden I'm like, yo girl, look. And she's like, what am I looking at? I'm like, girl, there's 2 coyotes right there on the beach. Yeah. Walking down, skulking after some dogs. It was crazy.
And Holly puts on her shoes because she said she just got to outrun me.
Right. I was like, girl, those things attack. I just need to outrun somebody.
You don't have to outrun. You don't have to outrun the coyotes. You just have to outrun the other person.
Karen's
That's what we learned.
Karen's going to throw your speaker at them.
I learned that on my mission. If a dog's chasing us on the bike, I don't have to outbike the dog. I just have to outbike my companion.
I did that down in Clearwater, Sand Key. A friend of mine, there was a big dark figure coming in the ocean towards us. I start running, and she's from Germany, and she's like, Karen, is that a shark? I'm like, I don't know.
No, you're good. Just stay there.
In the water.
I ran ahead of her, although there was all kinds of other people. It ended up being a manatee. So a manatee swam right by us, but it was this big dark figure coming through, and she's like, what is that? And I'm like, I'm just getting ahead of her. I'm like, I don't know.
I was like, girl, I'll put my shoes back on because all I have to do is outrun you. She's like, I'm a runner. You would never win. I was like, probably, but I sure am going to try. I'm putting on my Brooks right now. And then a mom and a daughter walked by and they were talking about how they had been on the beach and one of the coyotes was stalking their dog because they had the dog off the leash. And she's like, I just made myself big like a bear and yelled and
Yeah.
it ran off and we left.
Well, we don't know where the coyotes were going because it's the whole beach. Like, where are they going?
So we sit on the seawall. It's 17 miles.
So where is this? These
So I'm like, where did
coyotes?
these coyotes come from? It's 17 miles.
Yeah, they're just gonna run 17
Like
miles. It's all people.
it's
on-
all city where we were. It wasn't like it was coming from a forest.
Yeah, so we're kind of wondering.
I don't know where they
Where
came
they
from.
see coyotes?
We have a couple coyotes in our neighborhood. Just saw them the other night.
But you're
But we
like
have
kind of
some-
a rural area. You got some rural
yeah.
farmland and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude,
This was a beach.
We
city.
drove past the cornfield on the way here.
there are many of those on the way to my house. We are definitely up in the rural suburbs, but it's all good because we're
Yeah.
like literally 5 minutes from anything. So that's what makes it nice. Nice. So Holly, here's the big question. It says the beach it's less than 5 hours away, which we know.
Yeah.
Galveston's less than 5 hours away. Is that
I know
close
Dad's
enough?
already had this conversation with
Is
me.
that close enough that you're gonna stay in the area,
So Dad and I had this conversation.
or are you going to
He
move
said-
to Killeen?
Well, Dad was like, you should move to Galveston. And I said, Dad, like, he's like, it would be cheaper. And I was like, listen, like, front property is expensive whether you're here or in Florida. He's like, no, I meant cheaper for me to visit. if you go to Galveston. I was like, okay, fair point. So I did talk to Dad. I said, maybe we should get a place down here and like make it an investment property, do some Airbnb. So we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I could probably go down, like make that one of my stops for like a month. I definitely can't. Like, I'm going to base, like I keep going back and forth, like where am I going to go? I feel like in the end, I'll probably still base out of Dallas. So I'll still come here and lucky you and Val will get to have me as a roommate every once in a while or.
Need that dog
Whatever.
sitter.
You need to let me know when you're doing that month down in Galveston.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was actually really, really nice. And I liked the fact that like we went off season, but it was like the perfect weather. It was like
Yeah.
85, 90 degrees
Gorgeous.
still, like
Gorgeous.
nobody there. We didn't wait in line anywhere. Like we drank a shit ton
Yeah.
and didn't have to wait to drink a shit ton.
We literally
anywhere.
walked
We
into
just-
any restaurant,
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's like there's people in there, it's not too crowded. It was there wasn't traffic, but there were cars, but it
Yeah.
wasn't traffic. You know what I mean? Like,
So I would definitely consider like basing out of there for a month.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just, I don't know. It's weird not to have a plan other than I know I'm not keeping my apartment, but I don't have a plan.
Yeah, you got to get out of that joint.
oh god,
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely getting out. But I just don't have a plan. I don't know. Like, I know I'm putting all of my stuff in storage. That's the most I've gotten. Like,
That's
everybody's
the
like, where
plan.
are you going? And I'm like, probably Florida for some of that. And maybe up to, like San Diego,
New
San
York.
Francisco,
You're talking
New
about New
York. Yeah. And everybody's like, yeah, well, where are you going to live? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to put everything in storage. Like,
Let's be homeless.
yeah, I haven't worked out.
Free
like,
spirit.
Yeah, I've got to talk to you and Val, though, because I'm going to have to put your guys' address as my permanent address, I think. But-
Just don't get served. Then I gotta like
Come
tell
over to
them
your own
like
house.
I have to explain to the processor like she doesn't actually live here. Like
permanent address. Oh, we
She's-
don't know where she's at this
it's my
month.
sister. She's illegally using my address.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly, but I figured I'd probably just base out of here and maybe I'll be here for a month or two and then find an Airbnb, figure out, like, throw a dart at an atlas, whoosh, US map, figure out where I want to go and go. Mom has an atlas. I could use hers.
I saw one the other day at the store and I'm like, Jared, somebody was with me. It's like, this is an atlas. I bet Mimi has one.
She does. It's probably in her car. She still looks at her little thing.
That thing, like, this dot to this dot. We've got 74 miles.
All I remember when we used to go out to Utah and that's how we would travel. There
Here's
wasn't even MapQuest. We literally,
Oh,
Mom
MapQuest.
literally pulled out the atlas
Yep.
and we followed the atlas.
that we
It's
did.
fun to do sometimes.
Like
Yeah, we did.
I would be lost. I'm
Oh,
like,
no, I'm
wait a minute, am I going left or right here? How do you get
in
there?
MapQuest. I used to do that driving back and forth to Queen from Pennsylvania, and I just go through. I'm like, okay, I'm like searching through the car. I'm like, I'm getting off on an exit. I'm like pulling out, like, okay, this road connects to here, to here, to here. We'll just try this.
Yeah, no.
That's
Mom
me.
was a pro at that, but I get lost too much. I don't
Yep.
even like. There's been a couple times I tried to get us home from somewhere, and I'm like, I think we got to go this road, Karen.
Oh
And
wait a
then
minute, you
I'm like,
always talk about how you gotta call Scott.
I do. I'm always like, I think I live by that road. She's like, what's it called? I'm like, SH 121. I feel like that's one of the toll roads by my house, but I'm not sure. So we're gonna try to get home.
The
with no
one that's
GPS.
at your house, you mean?
Listen,
Hey,
yeah.
The IKEA is there. That's all you gotta know.
There's two toll roads and they're both by your house.
I
Like
know, but then I'm like, which one do I get on, and which one takes me where? And I never know which way I need to get on the toll road. Like if I would have had to go to your house today from where we were, so we stopped at Best Buy off of Warren Parkway,
okay.
and then when you get on the toll from there, I would have gone on the toll and gone the opposite direction
Oh jeez.
because I was like, oh yeah, we got to go that way, and then I'm like, oh, this is telling me to go this way. I must have to go the other
Like
way.
it's
I have
surely
zero
wrong.
sense of
GPS is wrong. It's telling me to go back that way. That's not right.
I have zero sense of direction.
I know you
so-
called me in the middle of the night
best
one
when somebody
night.
says go east or go west.
Oh,
I'm
I hate
like,
that. Cardinal directions. Don't talk to me like that.
I'm like, make a left.
Nobody
or a
talks
right.
like that.
Yeah.
As the crow flies. Nobody
Or-
talks like that either.
Or the old person, and they're like, "Oh, let me just tell you how to get there," and you're like, "No, I got GPS. I'm good."
I'm good.
And then they proceed to
Well,
tell
then
me,
you got to turn left at the stop sign.
"You're gonna get to Johnson Street." I'm like, "I already forgot the first street you told me." Like, I can't.
Right.
You know, I'm remembering
Turn
all this.
left.
Just,
I'm like, where's Old Man Tucker's pecan tree? That's what I
what's
need to
the
know.
address? What's the address? Give me the address. Well, they just live down over here. I'm like, no, what's the address? Just tell.
Yep. I will say I served though. Well, another side note. I served a paper yesterday.
Yes, you did. I sent it to you yesterday, and you got it done
Done
immediately.
Very quickly.
I mean,
Let me tell you.
it should have been. It was literally like half a mile from your house.
Right. So I go into the leasing office because I just want to verify they live there. So I go in, the guy's like, I said, hey, I just wanted to verify. I have some paperwork for one of your residents. I just want to verify that she lives here. And he's like, yeah, do you have like an ID or something? So I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, shit, I don't have my process serving card, but I knew I had a picture of it. So I said, let me go grab my ID. It's in the car. So when I come back in, the girl's standing there and she goes, are you serving paperwork? She was like such a bitch. And I was like, yeah, I just wanted to verify like residency. And she's like, are you a process server? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, you should know that's against the law. I was like, is it? Privacy laws? That's what she said. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was just verifying to see if they were a resident because I didn't want to go knock on somebody's door and disturb a resident if it wasn't there. And she's like, yeah, you should know this. You should know better. I was like, oh, okay, because every other place I've gone, they've always verified residency. And she's like, yeah, we don't do that. And she like stormed off. I was like, man,
Yeah,
that's
sometimes-
nice. I wasn't
Sometimes they
even
get
like-
crazy.
And the guy was like,
the girl getting
But I was
served was
like-
okay too.
yeah, the girl who got served, I walked up and she said, oh, hey, how are you? She knew she was, I think pretty sure she expected it. She knew it was coming. She
Right.
said, do I need to sign anything? I said, no, you're good. She said, okay, thank you. Have a great day. But that girl was such a bitch. I just wanted to be like, I'm not like asking for information. I just want to know, is this the resident? Is this the correct place? Because I'm going to go knock on this door and disturb your residents. And everybody else. And she was like, privacy laws. So
Yeah.
that one was a bitch, just so you're aware. But it did get served.
That's why I don't go to apartments anymore. Honestly, I just get
That's
so
why you
tired.
sent them to
Like,
her.
I've dealt with. Yeah, exactly. The only one I'll go to
I have good,
is your
but I've
complex
had
now because I
really
can get
good,
in.
But I've had really good luck, with going to apartment complexes, and they give me information like, yeah, they live here. No, former resident, they don't live here anymore.
Yeah, most of them will. Most of them will give you information. Some of them are just weird. They're like
She was so, and
They-
she was such a bitch.
She was hangry.
they're
You
like
should know. Oh,
they're like HIPAA laws. I'm like HIPAA laws. What are we like?
You're like, that's
Health
medical.
information? What does that have to do? Like, what is the
I did not
HIPAA?
ask their blood type. I said, do they live here?
I didn't ask if she died. I just said, do they live here? And they're like HIPAA laws. I'm like, okay, you're weird.
well, Karen got to experience my hangriness on the way to Galveston and the way home. It was, she might have feared for her life a little bit.
Oh, but we had the peach ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah, we
you
stopped
did. You
it.
stopped at
We
Cooper
did.
Farms.
Okay, listen, we have so much Cooper Farms food still. I have to eat all of this before my diet starts Monday.
yeah.
So we have peach bread, delicious.
Oh yeah.
Banana bread, delicious.
yeah.
We had
I forgot.
peach cobbler, delicious. We got the peach ice cream there.
How was the peach ice cream?
Oh, so good.
I didn't even like peach ice cream. It was
Amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I don't even know how we happened upon it. Like we did, maybe just
Oh.
saw the sign or something one day, and we're like, "Oh, peach ice cream. Let's
Yeah.
go try it
So
out."
good. And then
Everything.
the fudge,
Yeah.
I went a little nuts because it was like 3 for $9. So I was like, oh, I want to try that piece. And I'll try that one. I got 6 pieces of fudge and I'm still working on those. Those
Yeah.
are big pieces too.
You know
So I
that'd
just
be
take a
gone.
little
If
bite
it's,
of one like every day because it's like
So
a
sweet.
sugar infused,
So sweet.
So I can only do like a bite or two. So I was like, well, whatever's not gone by the time Karen leaves. Got to throw that out because diet starts Monday.
Diet starts Monday.
so it's Friday. You're leaving Sunday then, huh?
Yes, I have to be back
Yeah.
in Columbia. Bye. Well, because I leave to go to the beach.
She's going to another beach.
Oh, you're going to the beach. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going on a girls' trip on Thursday.
Well, How far is the beach from your house?
Well, I'm going to Ocean City, Maryland. So from South Carolina, it's like 9 hours or something. I don't know.
No. I mean like a beach.
Less than 2 hours. Like to go down Charleston, it's less than 2 hours.
Well,
Myrtle
Holly, there you
Beach
go.
It's like 3 hours, but it's because they have only back roads to get into there. So you can go highway, but then you got to go on back roads.
We're all right
So,
moving to South Carolina.
I'm not saying move to South Carolina. You just fly to South Carolina and then you drive
Oh,
to
no,
the
I'm going
beach.
to Florida. Karen's 7 hours from Florida.
yeah. Oh, no,
Listen,
it's 6. It's like 6
hours.
and a half.
If I
yeah.
go to South Carolina and stay there, then her husband's there, and then we can't like day drink and do all the stuff
He's
and
a
get into
party
all the
pooper.
trouble. And
That's true. Husbands, they're horrible.
Yeah, I know. But he's loving Holly now because normally sometimes he doesn't. He has a love-hate relationship with Holly.
We have a love hate relationship, Jamie and I.
He called,
Back years.
she called his mom a
I did call his mom a snowblower once.
A
Forgot about that.
a snowblower?
Your mother was a snowblower. I was quoting Johnny number 5.
Oh, and then you called him a bastard.
And then he got mad. And then I did call him a bastard because
You bastard.
You bastard. And he took offense to that. And
He's like, she talked about my mom.
she called my mom a snowblower. And Ken's
And
like,
I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, Jamie,
Johnny number 5.
number 5 is alive. He's like, what? I was like,
So Jamie and I,
Is alive.
right. He likes me now, though, because I shared my Amazon password so he could watch Thursday Night Football.
yeah.
Oh, that was a good one the other night.
Yeah.
It was like Ava came into me and just obviously the sun has started to shine into our windows.
Yes.
And so we'll have to wrap it up. But anyways, Thursday night, Ava comes in. She goes, "Hey, Dad, is there a football game tonight?" I'm like, "Hey, I think there is. I don't know. Let's ask." Let me mute her. I said, "Let's ask Alexa." And so we're like, "Alexa, is there a football game tonight?" She's like, "Yes, the Chicago Bears are playing the Washington Commanders." And I'm like, "Yeah, there's no game tonight."
I think the Bears got their first win, though,
Oh,
finally.
they did, man. They blew it up. It's pretty good. Pretty good game. Well, Holly, Karen, this went exactly how I thought it would. You guys
Hey, look, we were
spoke and
calm.
talked, and I was able to kind of keep us moving along a little bit.
It is.
But and like I said, the sun's coming through, and once that sun comes through these windows, if we start too late, it's over. Holly starts melting away and shining.
I think we need to do a snippet though of us jumping her car and me getting in it and driving away with like I think we'll be able to videotape.
You guys video it, I'll put it in. You video it, I'll put it in at the end of the show. But it's been fun. Karen, you are you've listened to every episode at least 7 times.
Yes.
So if all of our listeners could be like you, life would be
Dang.
great.
We'd be rich. I could quit my job.
One day, Holly. One day.
That's my goal, guys.
One day.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. So
Even if you don't like us and subscribe or listen to us, like and subscribe anyway.
So we do have, so we'll just make the announcement now for everybody that's listening. You guys will see it on social media as well. But season 2 is set to drop October 30th. So,
Right
Yeah.
before Halloween.
Yeah.
Yep.
Monday, the last Monday, right? Is that how? Or was it November 4th?
October 30th.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to do it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Season 2. Don't know how it's going to be, but you're going to find out what's going on in our life over the past 6 weeks, which has been
Been interesting.
interesting.
Life-changing.
Yes, it has. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Karen, thanks for being with us.
Sure.
Excited you're here. Holly, we will see you in a couple weeks.
For sure. See ya.
Ah.
Hey, what's up, my channel? Please hit the drop a like and hit the subscribe button. Looking for my first subscriber. Can't subscribe myself. Can't do that for some reason. I don't know why. Wish you could.